Back in the 1990s, Bill Gates made a presentation on how Doom was coming to Microsoft Windows. Gaming was apparently a big deal in Bill Gates' eyes. However, once the Xbox hit, it was kind of the main focus as far as gaming went. Microsoft made a lot of empty statements about how they were going to bring more games to the PC, but largely ignored it. Recently, that's kind of changed. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, why Microsoft isn't ignoring PC gaming anymore. Microsoft did not treat PC gaming well once they found success with the big gaming console of the next couple generations, that despite not necessarily beating the PlayStation 4 this generation, has still sold an absurd amount of consoles and games. I mean, I will say from a business perspective, I understand why they didn't do a lot in the PC gaming realm, but that doesn't mean it made people happy. Back in 2013, a user named Angelus Errare on NeoGAF compiled a list of times that Microsoft had promised or claimed they care about PC gaming and said they were going to be doing more. For instance, claiming that Windows Vista was going to usher in an era of modern PC gaming. The following year saying, don't count PC games out. The following year, claiming they were doing a PC gaming push. The following year, saying PC gaming is A-OK, and that it's not dead, and that it bolstered its PC gaming. Just repeated public relations nonsense about PC gaming all the way up to 2013. And that thread was one of many threads where people were expressing disappointment with Microsoft, a company that by all means had actually helped gaming in general quite a bit, for just basically ignoring PC gaming. I mean, it's a little more complicated than that. For one, a brilliant mind left Microsoft and started a platform that has become easily the biggest force in PC gaming. Steam is a multi-billion-dollar company, with Gabe Newell being one of the 100 richest people in the United States of America, and being they had found success in the console market, it didn't make a lot of sense to try to compete with that. Again, it's something that makes rational sense, but not necessarily something that people are going to love. I mean, those of us who do play video games on PC don't exactly get up every day going, oh, I'm so glad that Microsoft ignored the PC for years. But the last few years, they have actually gotten a little bit better. Now, I think the why is a little bit more important than the what, but I want to detail exactly what they've done. Microsoft realized that Windows isn't necessarily the thing that people go to for games. They don't think of Windows as a gaming property. They think of it as the PC operating system that most people use. When they think of gaming on PC, they think of Steam. Microsoft realized that people separate gaming from other PC operations, and when Steam makes itself obvious as the gaming brand, it works. Microsoft, upon realizing that consoles or PC are getting ever closer to each other with hardware that is ever more similar every generation, I don't know when or how, made the connection that Xbox is their gaming brand. And as such, they've created an Xbox app for Windows 10. The Xbox app exists on Windows, iOS, and Android and allows you to do a lot of the things that Steam does. They've streamlined their Microsoft Store to be an actual Microsoft Store that has an Xbox section that allows you to purchase both Xbox One and PC games, especially ones where your data is shared between the two versions. They've attempted to do a lot more of what Steam does on the PC with the Xbox brand, and it's probably much smarter to do that, because where Valve has had some moderate success in encouraging other companies and individuals to make Steam machines, Microsoft has already got an Xbox box. When I say that, too, I don't just mean they're getting more similar. I mean, they're doing things like making attempts to integrate keyboard and mouse into the Xbox One, for instance, announcing they were working on Razer support for both keyboards and mice very recently. There's also been some stirrings of Microsoft talking about buying Valve and therefore Steam, but I don't really know that I place a lot of stock in that. Valve and Steam kind of just totally absolve themselves of any of the actual responsibility of doing business and still make tons and tons of money, so I don't know why they would want somebody to own them. But even so, Microsoft has talked in the past about using Steam to distribute its universal Windows platform games, which have generally been looked at as a disaster, though some specific fixes have been made. For instance, allowing people to disable VSync and also select what disk they're installing games onto, which people who game off SSDs, I'm sure, thought that was very good, despite the fact that the universal Windows platform isn't really that ideal anyway, making a more console-like experience on the PC where you have less access to the guts of the game in case you want to do things like mod. Still, the position on Steam has been reversed at least somewhat, and Microsoft has also quietly tried to do things like work on the cheating problems that are rampant in gaming. Last year, they added a feature specifically to Windows 10 called TruePlay. It's very much like the VAC system from Valve, the Valve anti-cheat system, which collects data within games and uses that data in comparison to the typical gameplay data to see if anything stands out. Weird numbers, weird bits of code, stuff that isn't typically being sent over the network. Now, TruePlay is a universal Windows platform thing, so it's not guaranteed that it's going to take the world by storm because that platform isn't amazing, so to speak, though other people have figured out a way around it. People figured out how to crack the 5-layer DRM present in the universal Windows platform apps, and I'm sure that they don't love that. It's still showing that people want it. There is a demand for those games, which I would say should be encouraging, despite the conventional knowledge that you lose money when people crack your DRM. Now, in changing their name to the Microsoft Store as opposed to the Windows Store or the Xbox Store or anything like that, they've made it so that the store is a much more generalized thing, including things like movies, music, productivity apps, and making Xbox/games into its own section. Now, pretty much every iteration of Microsoft's store efforts are bad, but this version is a little less bad. In fact, I would almost say that the interface itself is pretty good, mirroring more of a Netflix or even a PlayStation store, things that I would consider pretty user-friendly. But the issue is the Windows Store basically doesn't have as many games as Steam. Steam is always going to have more games. Good old games, GOG, depending on how you say it, is always going to have more games because these are the leaders. They're mature platforms that have kept on a specific path for a long time and are still executing a plan that they've had for that period of time. That being said, the fact that Microsoft has been willing to change their store when it doesn't work, I think says at least they get that it doesn't work. They keep trying, and they'll probably keep trying for a long time before it finally is a thing that clicks with people, if it ever does, but they're not ignoring people. They want this to actually work. Whereas a decade ago, I don't think they would have even cared. 2008, I mean, Microsoft and PC, you wouldn't even be thinking about it. Something they've done that I think is actually really good for PC gamers is game mode. Essentially, a mode in which the game prioritizes CPU and GPU, specifically to whatever game you're running. Essentially making everything that is way off in the background, way off, much further off in the background. So far off in the background, it doesn't matter. Essentially dedicating more of your system's resources to the game, like a lot of various programs through the years have claimed that they do, but don't really do that great, and often end up screwing up your system's configuration because they end up closing things that for some reason end up not working anymore. I've had issues with the game boost programs in the past, but Windows having a solution to that baked right in is great, and it does work pretty well. Not just from personal experience, I've seen a lot of other people say, this is definitely a thing that gives me better results with gaming, and that's great. We need more of that. Some games that are utterly unplayable actually kind of work out in game mode. Not all of them. I mean, there's a ways to go. This is the type of thing that is great to see from a company that essentially left PC gamers out in the dust for Steam to, I guess, clean, to make an awful pun. Steam cleaning, like in real life. That's not the only type of thing they've done to enhance their Windows/gaming platforms. There's also things like crossplay, making it so that when you purchase the game on the Microsoft Store and can use it with all of their Xbox gaming app platform features, you can also play it on the Xbox without having to buy it there. It's just part of your gaming library, which is great. And honestly, every game should be like that that's out on both PC and Xbox One. It doesn't make any sense that it's not like that. In fact, that's great. That's a wonderful, phenomenal thing to do. And included in that program is a very important game that shows they actually do take PC gaming seriously. Microsoft's flagship series is unmistakably Halo, and Halo Infinite will be coming to Windows 10. We think that it will be coming at the same time, as at this point it's been referred to as an Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive. And that's from the start. We haven't seen it referred to in any other way, and Phil Spencer, the Microsoft gaming chief, seems to be delivering on the intent to blur the lines between Xbox and Windows. Now, obviously, we don't know a heck of a lot about Halo Infinite at this point, but we do know that's a big deal. Microsoft simply has realized that there is a market, there is a place for them in that market, and that if they don't do something about it, it's a missed opportunity. All of the moves they have made, even though they haven't all been perfectly effective and done exactly what they've set out to do, a lot of them have. And the ones that have certainly moved them closer to a position that makes good sense from a PC gaming perspective, and it could be good, it could be bad. We know that unless it's really good, they're probably not going to overtake Steam anytime soon, unless they purchase it, which, fingers crossed, don't really want that to happen. But to see the Microsoft Windows environment just fully embracing games, even though they haven't made every correct move to, is good. Just having it more friendly towards gaming, them thinking about gaming as they develop things, is great for gamers, period. And it makes sense they would be doing that on account gaming is a really big market. What do you think? How is Microsoft doing with this? Is it getting better or not? I think it is. I think they've got a long way to go, but there's certainly a lot to say that we could continue the discussion in the comments. If you like this video, please click like, and if you're not subscribed, now would be a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.